Welcome to Colbert Sports as we look ahead to what is a phenomenal weekend on the calendar, kicking off in Epsom. Like, what a meeting this is. We have Joe Value, as always, to join us, the sharpest pencil in the pencil case. Joe, how are we looking this weekend? There's some great races. I thought the Coronation Cup is interesting, the Oaks, and then on to the Derby, the big one, the one that everybody's waiting to see.
Yeah, brilliant race, the Derby. It's poor old Lester Piggott. I wonder what he would have picked. He would have had the choice, obviously, with back in the day, obviously, between Stoutes and O'Brien's, maybe, But I'm fascinated to see what he'd pick. I have my own opinion on it, but we'll get to that in a little while, I'm sure.
Yeah, the great Lester Piggott. What a jockey he was. Every young jockey, and no matter where you are in the world, the minute you thought you were any good, everyone would say, "There's the next Lester." Or anyone, you look like Lester. Or any young lad that used to ride up very short, was compared to Lester Piggott. So phenomenal career as a jockey, and yeah, just amazing. I think I was reading something there. He'd over 116 or something Royal Ascot winners or something like that, crazy. So many classics and nearly 4,500 winners. So absolutely phenomenal and just a genius. A genius.
I only got the tail end of his career now, but I can remember really well him winning the Guineas in 1992. I just had to check the date before I come on. Rodrigo Di Triano. That's the time I was kind of getting into racing. But back then you had Lester Piggott, Pat Edry, poor old Dibble is gone as well, Walter Swinburne, poor old Walter, Steve Compton, Willie Carson, Mick Cannan, Christy Roach. I used to go up to Curra. The Curra was right up beside me. He used to go up to Curra and he used to just stand outside the weigh room and just look at these boys in awe. They were absolute movie stars, as far as I was concerned. And the colours they were wearing, like you had the Hamdan Maktoon,
the
frantic colours, that was the call. Sorry?
Yeah, and the Sangster family and all these.
The Sangster and the Kala Abdullah and the Sheikh Mohammed, obviously. I was just class looking at them, I spent many a weekend up in the Curra, just looking at these lads going around. They were legends,
Yeah, it was always a dream feeling for any young jockeys coming through to put on colours that, all these great riders had been seen to have so much success in the past. There was an atmosphere about it. Any young lad in the weigh room that ever, would go and put on them colours for the first time, they grew a foot and confident team and just unbelievable. But yeah, rest in peace to Lester Piggott. What a legend and a true racing icon. Right, we're going to move on and touch, Joe, on the Coronation Cup first. I think it's an interesting race. We have Manobo coming back in trip for Charlie Appleby. He was a good winner out in Medan. Then he just pulled a bit hard the next time. It didn't go to plan, but still ran with lots of credit. And then we have the High Definition coming right into his frame now and really starting to show the benefits of time, and came back for me with arguably, a career best run, just unlucky not to be touched off. Joe, I'm going to come to you in this race. There's other lively ones in here. You have Living Legend stepping up. I think he takes part. I'm not sure if he's a definite runner. You have Hookham and you have a couple more. Joe, where does it lie? Oh, how can we not mention a quick word on last year's winner, Pile Drive?
Pile Driver in there as well, yeah. The only horse that hasn't got a jockey booked up yet is the horse you first mentioned, the Irish one, High Definition. Yeah. But I'm sure that's just Aidan taking his time. I'd say he'll run, and I hope he does run, because as you said, it was a career best last time. He'll try and hopefully bounce out and make all like he nearly done the last time. Living Legend will go with him. Pile Driver won't be too far away. Classy horse, has to be respected. But I think this all sets up perfectly for Manobo, who I know you're a big fan of him, but I am as well. What he done 2 runs ago in Dubai, I thought was exceptional. And things didn't pan out from last time, but it's just, I think it's highly significant that they're dropping them back now. They're happy to go a mile and a half, against in a classy race, obviously. And I just think the race sets up lovely for him. He can get into a nice early rhythm and then show just how good he is down the home run.
Yeah, he just looks the one on the up. He really take your breath. However, I am a little disappointed to drop back in trip as I was on him anti-post for the Gold Cup and Ascot. But anyway, you have that. Still, I am High Definition was always a horse that I put down as too weak. You know, should have took more time off. He was going to the well too much as a 3-year-old when he
I remember you saying that, yeah.
He was always physically weak. I remember he was always very well fancied. So they clearly always thought he was very good. So it is very good to see him doing it. But I just thought last year I seen him walking around at the start one day and he was just all leggy and everything. But to see him come back to that kind of form, he's definitely a player if he runs. I think if he could step up from the Curra run, it could be a thrilling race. It really could be. You know, if he takes that step forward from that run and then we're going up in trip, he looked to gallop through the line very strong at the 1.25 miles after going what you would say was a pretty decent pace the whole way. So he's definitely interesting. However, Manobo is one of these horses. I'd say we just don't know how good he is yet. I think his performance, as you just alluded to at the time before in Maidan, was just one of an absolute machine, to say the least. I think a strongly ran 1.5 miles, he'll be thundering home. High Definition with a Mark Johnson runner mightn't just get it too handy, but I don't know if he steps up. It's interesting. I think I'll have to side with Manobo, maybe to run down High Definition.
You have it's a really good race. You have to respect Hookham as well. Obviously, you know he's what a horse he's turned out to be, and also Pile Driver. You know, two near enough top notchers, but we just think this Manobo is a bit special, and hopefully he can go and show that. You know.
Yeah, I think it's important that he does get into a rhythm and settle. The last day, to be honest, I thought William Buick that week in Milan, he just wasn't having a great week. There was a week where just things weren't going from him, and then he soon bounced back, what top class jockeys do. Kind of 10 days later, I think he had a treble and then he was away again. But just that week, nothing was going right from him. Bear came second as well, and other horses just got beat. He got beaten one in Windsor. There was lots of just around that time, and I just thought that day that Manobo wouldn't have been bet if he had just let him go. When he jumped out of the stalls, he was right on the pace, and there was absolutely no one wanting to go on. And when you're on an odds-on favourite, I thought he should have just slid to the front. And I thought if he had done that, he might have ran a bit keen in front, but he would have controlled the race and probably coming in here off the back of a dynamite win. Or if he did a win that day, he mightn't even come here. He probably would have went to the Ascot Gold Cup, but over the trip. But I do think that they're saying, oh, he pulled hard and he didn't get home, let's come back and trip. Whether that is the perfect move, it remains to be seen, because I think because things went wrong in Maidan, we're coming back and trip. Maybe, will it make sense?
Be a plan B kind of thing, yeah.
It could be a thing, but I really think if he had a settle that day, like he'd have won, because he still nearly took it up, and just got run over. Anyway, we'll move on, Joe, to the Epsom Oaks. I'm just going to ask you one question. Emily Upjohn, are you with her or against her?
I wouldn't be with her or against her, but it's hard not to like what she's doing. It's what's not to like. In fairness, she can't. If you're going to be really picky, she's a little bit free early on. But as Frankie was saying in the interview last time, she was free on me. But she, when I asked her to calm down a bit, she did. So she listened. So that has to be a good thing. She stays the trip out strong, and she's definitely the worthy favourite. There is one at a price that I like. Maybe each way without the favourites, really. And sometimes, the way bookmakers can give a market on without the first two favourites, because that Najwa looks very good as well. But I like this Tranquil Lady. I remember her from Galway last year. I know she didn't beat much in Galway, but by Jez, she flew up the hill, and she's done nothing wrong this year. Steadily progressive, and I like the jockey booking as well, Tom Wand. I think it's 20-1 to win the race, but you might get kind of 8-1, 9-1 on the day without the first two favourites. That's what I'd be looking for, and that'd be a fair bet, because I think she stays pretty well. She's by Australia. I don't see the trip being a problem, and a lot of these ladies now will be crying enough a couple of furlongs out, where I think Tranquil Lady, if she gives herself a chance to get home. I don't see her not getting home. I think she'll see the trip out fine, and that could go a long way in the context of this race.
Yeah, she's definitely an interesting runner. When she won in Galway that day, she was dynamite. She absolutely bolted in. And then she was dynamite there in Naas or Nav in a couple of weeks ago. I think it was Naas, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, she ran. She was a very good winner. Just a quick word on the favourite, Emily Upjohn. She's very short at the minute. And look, you can't knock her for a couple of things. She's coming in unbeaten. And she's definitely, the one on tap potential, and on what she's already done, she's the one to beat. However, I just want to take her on at the price. I'm not saying she's not good enough to win it, but I think there's enough variables why you could take her on. One is, I watched her do her race course gallop last week, and everybody was very happy with her. I wasn't, to be honest. Now, and I know people say, oh, well, how could you not? Look, I just seen her coming down the hill, and I was like, that might just be a little worry. I don't think she's as well balanced as everybody thinks she was coming down the hill. However, all connections are happy, and that's fine. But just my gut feeling was, when I watched her, I was like, oh, maybe Epsom might pose a threat. So anyway, I've come to the conclusion, I really love Nashwa. Obviously, I've tipped her up twice. The last twice she's won. And I think she's deadly. However, she is very fast, and a mile and a half around Epsom. If she stays, I'd say she'd absolutely be the one to beat. But we don't know if she will. And to be honest, I wouldn't bank on her being I think she's really fast. Like, she came from last in Newbury the other day, up the outside on the bridle. Now, she hit the line well, but she didn't hit the line well like a filly where you'd say, oh, we'd definitely go and win the Oaks. But John Gosden, I can see, there's only one Oaks. You run her, and if she wins, she wins. And if she doesn't, you remap a program for her. So she's definitely a live contender. She definitely is very classy. And even though she mightn't win the Oaks, she could be the best filly in the Oaks, back at different distances. Right, but I want to give a big chance here to an outsider, because I am a donkey. John Gosden is a master with these fillies. But anyway, Rogue Millennium, Baidu Bawi, Alvin, there's an Oaks winner in the family, Imagine. Now, this was picked up for peanuts, lads. It was picked up with the pedigree this has. I think the dam was a Naif mare. It was bought for 35,000. And we've seen one young trainer win a classic already this year, George Bowie, in the 1,000 guineas with the filly. And now I think we could see Tom Clover really have a massive chance with this filly of winning. I really liked her in Lingfield. I thought she won, and she didn't even know how to gallop, and I thought she won well. She came down around the hill, took her a minute to get running, but if she stormed home and finished third, I would have really said, okay, this one is live for the guineas. But she managed to actually storm home and win. So there is an opportunity for this mare to take a giant step forward from that experience in Lingfield. And I think a strongly ran Oaks, I think she'll be finishing off. I really do. And I think it's arguably, we just don't know how good she is, because she came down the straight, very wandery, very waywardy, but hit the line well on top. And that's always a good sign. Now, she has to obviously take that next step up, but I think she might be able to, just watching her. So at the prices, she's a massive price. I don't shop around, lads. I don't know, but she's she's 16 to 1 and above. I don't know what price she is in other places. I think I seen one price at 16 to 1. And I just think Tom Clover has done nothing wrong there the last kind of few months. A lot of these horses are winning. And we had Ken Whelan on the show before, the jockey's age. And I remember him saying, when it comes to big meetings and big days, it's informed teams that tend to get it done, informed teams. And I just think Tom Clover could take down the Epsom Oaks at a massive price. That's what I think.
He's definitely an up-and-coming trainer, and you have to say at the prices, if the likes of a Gosden or an O'Brien or Charlie Appleby trained that exact mare, she'd probably be a single-figure price, being unbeaten and all that, 2 from 2. So you're getting the value there. Yeah, look, as I said earlier on, it's about staying out the trip, and the market is very lopsided from the front two. Now, they do look brilliant, there's no doubt about that, but there is value elsewhere. As you say, shop around. Place markets are very good for these type of things. When there is, when the top of the market is very strong, you're getting value down below, 3 place, 4 place, 5 place, or as I said, without betting without in the front two in the market. You can get some great value there.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Always check out the extra markets, lads. And I know we're all victims of going to the one bookie that we like to bet with. I think it's important to shop around as well. If you're not lazy, like some days you'll be lazy and we just rush in and like one bookie's offering 5 places, the other's offering 4, and then you're just that lazy, you take the 4, and things like that. Or, just be a bit more aware. As Joe, you alluded to on your video yesterday or the day before, there's just too much racing on, lads. We don't need to be getting involved all the time. And we had last couple of weeks there, we had a massive 2 weeks, massive value in spots. And we had a great run. And then the last kind of few days, the value isn't, the juice isn't in the prices, the races aren't great. And you have 3 horses within 9 to 4 to 3 to 1 at the head of the betting. Nobody, Joe, just a quick word on that there. There's too much fucking going on. 12 meetings.
I know there is, of course. Like, it's just Saturday was ridiculous, and you couldn't enjoy it. Like, I'm like you, I watch the racing every day and I enjoy it, obviously. I don't have to have a bet in every race. That's the advantage punters have. One of the few advantages punters have over the bookmakers is that they have to price up every race, but we don't have to have a bet in every race. But just Saturday, it was the great sporting day Saturday was, obviously, but I was looking forward to the race and trying to learn a bit, but it was just a rapid fire, race after race, and like the split screen and getting the tail end of races and missing the start of other races. I was tempted to turn it off and start watching the GAA. Now I stuck with it, but by Jesus, it's hard to enjoy it when it's like that. And I don't know who it's benefiting, really.
Oh, there's only one benefiting is the bookmakers. They're keeping you addicted. They're keeping you that you haven't time to go and eat a sandwich.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You wouldn't have time to go to the toilets, would you? But look, they need to have a strong look at that at the fixture list, because if the likes of me is losing a bit of interest in now Saturday, not every day, obviously. Sunday was back on it and everything was brilliant. But what about the casual supporter? He's just going to say, this is a load of bollocks. This is way too much. I'm going to throw in the soccer there, or I'm throw in the golf or something, something that can easily follow. The last or Saturday just gone was just a scutter. Like, it was just too much, I thought.
Absolutely, and mind puzzling, and it's unfair on punters, racing staff, everybody, owners, because the prize money is there. Like, if you have that many meetings in a day, the prize money can't be good. It's just like the industry can't generate all the money. Like, where if they're focused on quality, transparency, and bringing in more quality cards, having a more quality event to bring in more people, instead of having just a fucking a non-stop stream of just throw it in your face race and take it or leave it. And that's what it feels like.
That's what it is.
We will touch on that, Joe, again another day, but we have to make this a positive one about the big one, the Epsom Derby.
Paddy, sorry, just for 1 second. When we're still on Friday, really quickly, is the horse I like in the 235 it's the World Pool Handicap, and I like the horse called Astro King. It's in around 9 to 2, 6 to 1 actually, priced up in one form, but 9 to 2, 5 to 1. Really like the look of this horse. He was second in the Royal Hunt Cup last year, Royal Ascot, behind Real World. Obviously, we know what Real World went on to do. This lad was second. A bit in and out since, but he's come back run was very good at Thirsk, I thought, ridden by young Mark Crean. And I do like his chances there. Just while we're still on Friday, I said I mentioned him. It's a 2:35 race at Epsom. Astro King.
Astro King, lads, at 2:35. Just a quick word, Joe. He ran that day in Thirsk. He kind of slugged out of the stalls a bit. He was a bit sluggish. He didn't really break. I remember
he was a bit rusty.
He was a bit rusty, so definitely a well-handicapped horse.
Sir Michael Stoute, like, you know, the way Sir Michael likes to progress with them through run. So I'm hoping this is a bit of a target. Same connections as Desert Crown, Ryan Moore, same owner, same trainer. Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting horse. Although he has been a little disappointing, he could absolutely bounce back. Right, lads. Let's move on to the Epsom Derby, and we have an absolute cracker, lads. We have everything in here. We have Charlie Appleby with a few. We have Aidan O Brien with a few. We have Sir Michael Stoute back with a bang with an absolute whopping horse. I'm going to come to you first, Joe. I think I have like pretty much a good angle throughout most of the horses, as I'm familiar with them all. Where is it lying with you? Desert Crown, an absolute dynamite winner in the Dante. Stone Age coming back, a much better horse this year.
I like the horse that has to be supplemented, the Godolphin horse, Nation's Pride. I think he was very strong at the finish there at Newmarket. I know you fancied the horse called Superstar in the same race. Now, Superstar probably might have been a little bit disappointing, but you know, it's hard to ignore the way Nation's Pride hit the line that day. He kind of runs behind the bridle a bit to give himself every chance of staying out this trip. And I like him. I think he's that perfect blend of, you know, a bit of class and stamina. And, you know, the fact that they're supplementing him has to be a good sign. I don't know about Stone Age. He was beaten a good few times as his 2-year-old career. He was impressive last time. No doubt about that. But look, I think Desert Crown is the one to beat, but I'll let you talk about him because I know you love him. But, you know, I think that Nation's Pride now, whatever beats him will know they'll have had a race anyway.
See, it's an interesting derby for one reason. I think it's a massive clash of speed and stamina. I think we have the Aidan O Briens look to me like they're a bit more of a galloper. I think Stone Age is definitely a big galloper. We can't deny the step forward he's took from last year. And he was highly campaigned as a 2-year-old. He was campaigned in, you know, group races a lot. I think, you know, I think it was his second in France. Was it in France he came home strong to be second in a decent race? But anyway, look, it's all irrelevant, his 2-year-old form, because his 3-year-old form has clearly took a step up. So when you look at these horses like Stone Age and that, they're so physically impressive. They can do this. So you can draw a line through whether they won 5 or 5 or 2 or won none. What he's shown us this year, he's definitely a real player, and they will have to gallop after him to catch him. However, I do think himself and Changing of the Guard are kind of similar types. They seem to be good, hardy, and proven horses. And I really think the two of them will run. I think they'll run their races. But is that good enough to win an Epsom Derby? Because we have a horse in here. We have Desert Crown. We have a couple of dark horses I just want to touch on, Eden and Walk of Stars. Walk of Stars for me is definitely an absolute airplane, but he's a little bit quirky and he's freakish. He ran in Linkfield and just draw a line through the run. Like he missed the break. He done everything wrong. He veered off the track late, done everything wrong, but he still showed if things had went right, he'd absolutely annihilated the field. So we don't know how good he is. However, an Epsom Derby is going to test his mettle. So a lively outsider bet that could absolutely run a screamer or blow out. No, you know, so you know what you're getting with him. It's either all going to go right or it's going to go horribly wrong. But for me, I can't get away from Desert Crown because I know I booked him when he won in Nottingham last year. I tipped him up as a strong bet in the Dante. And what he done in the Dante on his second start, when Sir Michael Stoute was clearly before the race not as confident as we would have liked after tipping him up as a strong bet. But ability is ability. And I remember Sir Michael just saying, now he wouldn't be one, he always kind of plays things down. And he was like, look, we're ready for a run, but no more. You know, we just have him to a run. And to do that in the Dante, like, people don't understand how good you have to be to pull away from a field in the Dante on the back of your second ever run, first run of the season, when the trainer clearly says, look, we're just getting there, but he has to run. And if you know, people say, will he stay? The question is, will he stay? And I watched it back last night again just to get a good insight into it. He is definitely 100% the classiest horse in the race. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. When he turned in on his second ever run against some good hardened horses, he turned in the Dante, 4 out. Richard Kingscourt had the long loop in the rain, and this horse was just coming on his own. He was coming. Watch him hit the line in the Dante. He will stay in the Dante. Watch him hit the line, Joe. He will stay, no problem. The horse won in Nottingham. The extended mile and a half a furlong on soft ground, and he took off when he was going out through the line. I really think he will stay, and therefore he's a very well balanced horse. And I think, as good as the O'Brien pair are, and they're tough and they're hardy, I think there's going to be a gear change here, and I think the gear change will win it. That's my feeling. I just want to give a quick mention to another horse I really like. Is Aidan. He's a massive price, and the Guineas has always been a real solid trial for the Derby. I thought he ran well. He's unexposed on the turf, and over the extended mile and 1 or Nottingham or Newmarket, was it a mile 1.5, something like that, where he was a very impressive winner on his first start in turf. He galloped in Epsom the other day. He came down the hill okay. I wouldn't say he came down the hill perfect. Came down, I think he changed his legs behind halfway down. But we don't know how good he is. The step up and trip look short to suit. But the more I go up and down the race, just a quick mention. Are you familiar, Joe? Because I'm not. Aidan O Brien has a runner. Pisdale. Donegal has one in here that won. He won in, was it Leopardstown the last day, or was it the Curragh? But anyway, I'm not too familiar with him. So, well, he's prominent enough in the betting, so it's interesting. I think he beat a good horse into second. I just want to get him up here now.
Is that the course that Gavin Ryan was meant to ride, is it?
Just 1 second, because he's so strong in the betting, we have to take a look at him. Right, so the Cazoo Epsom Derby, he beat a good horse.
A question for you as well, Paddy.
He beat Buckaroo.
Obviously, sorry?
He beat Buckaroo. Pisbadal, is it? Pisbadal.
Yeah, that's the horse that Frankie Dettori's got the ride on that now, instead of Gavin Ryan. That the owners wanted Frankie instead of young Gavin, which is unfortunate for Gavin, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Frankie's one enough.
not much Frankie can do about it. He's not the one that's going looking for these rides. The owners are going looking for him. So you have to obviously respect that the owners are making a big fuss about it, and they want the top lad on the board. So that's fair enough. But I have a question for you, Paddy. So today's obviously Monday when we're doing this preview, and the decks aren't done yet or anything like that. And crucially, though, the draw is not done yet either. I see the favourite. He's like 6-4, 7-4 now. 5-6 days before the event. 5-6 days before the event. Is there a chance that he could be probably even a better price Desert Crown on the day, or in around the same?
To be honest, no. He won't be a better price. I'll tell you why. Because Sir Michael Stoute coming in with a horse with this profile, and the yard is on fire, I think he'll be well backed on the day. I really do.
I absolutely will be well backed on the day. But the question I'm posing is, would you take 6-4 today as the Green Book you're going, or do you think he'd be 6-4 that morning, where you're taking the risk out of the anti-post? Because if you back him now and he doesn't run, say if you back him today. Yeah,
absolutely. No, Joe, I think this is going to be one of the best backed horses in Epsom the weekend. Just on the profile of the horse, the kind of the mystiqueness of Sir Michael Stoute coming back to his best, all this is going to play into the emotions. And he done a piece of work the other day. Did you watch it?
No.
He will win the Derby. Trust me. He done a piece of work with Solid Stone there the other day. Oh my God. Jesus.
Solid Stone is a solid horse, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he was a 7 lengths or 8 lengths behind him. He was solid work. Yeah. Now, Solid Stone wasn't asked to go after him either. So, but look, it was just, this horse is the real deal, this horse. And do you know what he has, Joe, for the Derby? He has the mentality, I think, to win the Derby. He went to the Dante. He took it in his stride. It was
he's a cool dude. Yeah, it's a big help.
We were watching him closely, obviously, because we had a few bob on him. But like we're also watching the other horses as well down at the start. But I just thought he'd done, like, what more could he do? The horse done everything right. And any horse, Joe, that can win around Nottingham first time out. I know people say, oh, well, Paddy, Nottingham is a flat left-handed track. Yes, it's a flat left-handed track full of ridges with a tight bend. And a horse has to have a good mentality. How many times have you watched horses in Nottingham start slow, run green?
Oh, you'd see it every day at Nottingham. You would see it every day at Nottingham. You'd see many horses around Nottingham, and you know your doe's done before you turn into the straight because it's just all over the place. All
over the place. I went for a strong bet on a horse there a few weeks ago. A horse called Aussie Banker. Mark my words, a horse won on Haydock, and then he went to Nottingham. The horse is a handicap good thing. Goes to Nottingham and can't handle the track. Richard Hughes trains Aussie Banker. See the next time he comes out, watch him where he runs. If he's on a conventional track, I guarantee you the horse will win. So it's to handle that track. It just bodes well for Sir Michael Stoute's horse. But anyway, so what I want to do is I want to say Desert Crown for me being maybe too knacky down the straight with his pace to win it. And I do think Eden and Walk of Stars at massive prices. Walk of Stars could, he could boil over, it could do something stupid, but Eden and Walk of Stars each way at big prices. But for me, it's all about Walk of Stars. Like I said, couldn't see him not being a very good horse this year after that maiden.
Yeah, I'll be keeping a close eye on. You'll be keeping a close eye on the front end of the race, and I'll be looking at the lads at the back markers trying to pick out a Triumph Hurdle winner. Never thought I'd see it in Epsom Derby.
No, lads, look, it's a phenomenal race, but I can't go against Desert Crown now. He's just a horse that I think he has everything that to win a Derby. Like, he has the gears. I think he will stay. I really do. I think he will stay. And just, lads, if you have a chance, lads and lasses, have a look back at the Dante and just watch. Just watch the last kind of half furlong and then just make up your own mind. But I think he will stay. So I think, and not only that, he turned into the straight and he was always going the best. You could tell by the jockey's action. He's only, that bump.
No, he wasn't, fairness. No, there was never a stride that you say, oh, we're in trouble here. He was always in control. No.
And Joe, on his second only run, to pull away from a Dante field, it's very impressive.
You just need a nice kind of middle slot draw now. You don't want to be drawn very low like that.
You don't want to be in one. But I think last year's Derby winner came from 1 or 2.
Yeah, but this is it. But it doesn't, stats will tell you, on a big basis of stats. I'm not a stats man, as you know, but I still don't want to be drawn too low in a Derby. That's all I know.
See, the only thing about the stats is the bookies have them as well. So sometimes the angle. Look, the draw is definitely one that, look, in an ideal world.
How many runners will there be?
I reckon most of them, Joe. I reckon most of the ones we touched on. I think Aidan O Brien has to throw anything he can because
he'll throw 3 or 4 on it.
When Aidan has a real good one, he might narrow it down a bit. But I think this year he's no clear standout. I do think he has 2 live runners. Like I think changing up the guard on Stone Age can step up again. They are live, but I do think the difference, as I said before, is going to be speed and the best horses get to the line the quickest. But one other word for another horse of Aidan O Brien's, will have to take a giant step forward. But don't be surprised if he runs all right. Star of India, I thought he really improved for his step up in trip at Chester. Now he's going out and trip. He's going out and trip again. There was something about a horse, and I always like this. There was something about a horse that's been bumped along, going nowhere. Next thing he pulls him out, and next thing he's gone by.
Yeah, no, that's it. Look,
it was
as you said, behind the bridle type, he will stay, won't he?
Yeah.
He wanted to travel a good bit better than he did the last day, but he'll be coming home, I suppose, well enough. But how far will he be behind him? But that's
it. It's just it's an angle. But yeah, Joe, so nail your colours to the cross. You go, and when is that supplementary stage?
Oh, today I'd say, yeah.
Today, yeah.
I think it's
Right,
today,
so
yeah.
we'll find out. Obviously, lads, bear in mind we might have touched on horses in this preview that aren't running, but there's nothing we can do about that. We don't know for sure, and we're still a few days out, so some horses might not show up.
I'd say they will, Paddy. Anything that we mentioned, I'd say, well, there's a few there that we left by, and there's no harm because they might be in. But I think anything that we mentioned, we should be fine,
Yeah, just a quick word on Westover then. He won the Classic Trial in Sandown. He beat a horse that probably should have won in cash. Could he step up? Prince Colin Abdullah's colours.
He's a lot to do in the book, hasn't he? He has a lot to do in the book.
Yeah, I thought the best horse came second that day. And the reason I say he's not here is because he's just a big late developer. Yeah, he's probably too late of a developer to be here, to be honest. The cash horse, he looks a machine though. Right. I think that's it then, Joe. Right, for yourself, the Coronation Cup. Nail your colours to 3. The Coronation Cup, the Oaks, and Derby. Go on, give us the 3.
Yeah, so Manobo, I really like in the Coronation Cup. I know you do as well. The Derby. Do you want this handicap good thing again? No, the Astro King.
Yeah, make sure and put him out. But personally, myself, I'm worried about that horse. But anyway, go on. He's capable.
Look, Tranquil Lady each way without the top 2 in the Oaks, and you're making a very, very strong case for Desert Crown. Look, I was very impressed with Nation's Pride at Newmarket. He's going to hit the line strong, and he'll take plenty of beating, I think. Yeah,
right. For me, I think Manobo fights out, runs down High Definition in a trailer. I could see reasons High Definition being very hard to beat if he progresses, but we've been over that. And then in the Oaks, I think, look, Emily Upjohn, for me at the price, I'm going to leave her be. Like I said, my opinion was gut feeling. I just seen her cantering down the hill, and I thought at that price on a completely different track, and on a big day, I'm just not going to back her. I wouldn't put you off backing her if you think John Gosling has obviously an amazing record with fillies. So I'm going to go with Rogue Millennium each way. I think if this was trained by Charlie Appleby or with the pedigree it has, you know what I mean, Dubawi, Naif Mare, Oaks winner, back in the family, you know what I mean? I think it would be probably shorter than 16 or 20 to 1 coming in 2 from 2 amongst greenness. Yes, it has to step up. It's a deep race, but I'm not going to back the favourite at the price. So there you go, Rogue Millennium. And then for me, Desert Crown, I just think is going to be too knacky, too fast, and too good. And I think the rest of them can fight it out for the places. I will give a little each way to Eden and Walk of Stars, maybe without the favourite or something. But for me, it's all about Desert Crown and Sir Michael Stoute being back in the big time. Joe Value, what a preview. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's lovely. It's fair play, Paddy. Nice one. Yeah, great. So let's hope we steered you in the direction of a few winners, lads. As always, Cold Bear Sports, you know where it's at. Check us out. All right, Joe, over and out. Thanks for that. And hopefully Astro King can bounce back. I'll see you in Kilbeggan Sunday, will I? Yeah, we're all going, lads. Make sure Kilbeggan races Sunday, a bit of crack. We'll have a few bets, and Joe will be there. I'll be there. And look, anyone that's welcome, lads and lasses, do come along, come up, say hello, get involved. It's going to be a little bit of a Cold Bear Sports meet up there. Bit of crack. We'll try and find Joe. Have you a winner for them for us? Yeah, I will. I'll have two winners. All right, lads. Over and out. Thanks for watching. As always, like and subscribe.